Okay.
We're done. There we go. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm just going to quickly pop. Where's it gone? Hi, everybody. Just let everyone funnel in. Just very quickly, I'm going to pop on the screen, on the screen, just a little update about Community Learning Week. So obviously you've probably seen this post before, but just to remind you, if you scroll towards the bottom, there's more information on winning the elusive Texas t-shirt. So give that a quick check out and also sign up to some of the other webinars here if you haven't already as well. That's the only thing I have to share with you before I hand over to Christina. So Christina is going to be talking to us today about inclusive learning.
Yes. Hi. I'm just going to move things around on my screen so I can see multiple things. Okay. So I'm I'm presenting, right? I just want to make sure you see my screen. Awesome. So
Oh,
I
wait, you have to put it back on, sorry. I think it's
Let's
coming.
put back on. Okay.
Sorry.
Ah. Okay. Let me go like this. Uh, I think it threw me off that we were okay. Windows. Okay. All good?
Yeah, there we go.
Yay. Okay. So, uh, I'm Christina Holsweiss, and this session is about inclusive learning with Book Creator. Here is a little bit about me. If you'd like to get in touch with me, ChristinaHolsweiss.com or just find me on social media. I really, really like Book Creator for inclusive learning. I've been teaching in the high school for 7 years now, and I will be going into an elementary school in the fall. And I know that I can use Book Creator in the high school and I could use it in the elementary school. So I'm very excited about that because I use Book Creator a lot with my English language learners, with my students with special needs. And then I also tell our content teachers inevitably when they want something, they want a project, or someone wants to present something, it inevitably comes back to Book Creator because of all the accessibility features and all the things that you can do with it. So Book Creator, I would say, is one of my go-to, if not the most important go-to, like I said, for accessibility and for ease of use. I can use Book Creator with my high school students, and they can use it at a higher level. And I know that I'll be able to use it with my kindergartners next year too. So there are not many tools that can do that. That they say that they could be used K through 12, but Book Creator can be, and I've also used it in higher education. So sometimes in my classes, instead of giving their assignments individually, I have students create a book through Book Creator, and they create a digital portfolio or journal based on what they've learned about whatever topic that we're learning in our class. We use Book Creator to demonstrate that. And I always have my students, whether it's a book creator class or a technology class, I've always get everyone book creator certified. They take the program and take the test. This way they know how to use book creator. So people are blown away because some people have never used it before. So we're talking about inclusion. So this quote I think is very important. Inclusion is not a strategy to help people fit into the systems and structures which exist in our societies. It is about transforming those systems and structures to make it better for everyone. And Book Creator, I think, illustrates that so well because it is user friendly. It is always thinking about the end user, is thinking about how people learn, how kids learn, how teachers learn, how teachers teach. It's always thinking about the end user. And I think that's what's so magical about Book Creator. I've known about Book Creator for years, but again, have only really used it since our district has a subscription for about the last 7 years faithfully. And I know that I'll have many more years that I can use Book Creator. And like I said, I've used it for personal, I've used it for professional, and I've used it for my classes. So again, inclusion. It's about changing the structures and the systems. Book Creator does that, and it does it so seamlessly. And I love the fact that students can use whatever tools that they need, and if they don't want to use them or don't need them, they don't need to. And if a student wants to use a tool, it's not like they have to ask permission or for the teacher to turn it on or they have to feel embarrassed. The tools are there as long as the settings are set like that by the teacher. So, inclusive learning can mean many different things. It can mean differentiating instruction, culturally responsive teaching, assistive technology. My assistive technology teacher, my professional, she is the one who turned me on to Book Creator when I just joined this district. Promoting student voice and choice. You can have templates in Book Creator, but you can also have kids create books from scratch. Collaborating with specialists and families. You can collaborate with other teachers. You can collaborate with other students. And it's so seamless to create group work. And it's that growth mindset. Kids can just create their books. And later on, as they develop their learning and as they become more mature, they can revisit those books and they can tweak them. They can make it even better. Again, Book Creator is so easy to use for everyone, but it has enough tools that you can make it fantastic and I guess more dynamic. Social emotional learning. There's so many templates on Book Creator where kids can learn about, they can learn about themselves and they can reflect on them, on their learning. Multiple entry points. So if a kid, sometimes, kids don't want to start writing. They could want to start drawing or they want to start importing images. You can do that with video and images and captions and audio. And then mostly practice universal design for learning. And what is universal design for learning? This is by the Center of Excellence for Universal Design. It's equitable use. Book Creator does that. Every kind of learner can use Book Creator from kindergarten all the way up to higher ed. And they could be English language learners, students with special needs, and even there are some accessibility features for kids who may not have a mobility. This flexibility in use. Kids can grow with Book Creator, and adults can too. It's simple. There's only a few buttons to press, and then I always tell kids and teachers, once you press that button, there's other things behind the door. But again, it's not cluttered. It's easy on the eyes. The tolerance for error. I always tell kids, use the undo button, make mistakes, try it again. And I always tell kids, use this blue area on the outside to make your mistakes or do all your draft work and then import it to Book Creator afterwards. There's low physical effort and the size and space for approach and use. So that's why I just love Book Creator for universal design and inclusive learning. So I'm going to go show you some examples right now. So let me make this a little smaller. Let me go into my library and I'm going to show you some examples of books created by Book Creator. So here's one. This was created during COVID. We have a class for students who want to learn about child psychology and working with pre-K. So we actually have the littles. We have 3 and 4 year olds come to our high school and our students work with them. Well, during COVID, they couldn't do that. So they were tasked with creating books for those kids. So this is one of the best books I've ever seen. Look at all the work that went to do this. All these little emojis, little captions, and listen, I just love all those little sound effects. And if you press read to me,
Maddie was so excited to see his grandma. Maddie's grandma had good news.
it will read to you. Now I'm going to show you other features to make it even more accessible, but this is just amazing. And look at that, the blend of real images with the Bitmoji images. This is just one of my favorite features. Now, this was again 5 years ago. This was before the Canva and Adobe Express smash. So right now you can go through you can go use Book Creator and go through Canva and you can use Adobe. But this was even before that. So this was like basic use of Book Creator. And look at this amazing work. So again, it was created by a high school student for little kids. So that's one example. Another example is this one. So in our school, we teach many different languages and we actually teach Russian. Now, I'm Ukrainian, so I work with the Russian teacher a lot because I can actually understand what she's saying to the students as opposed to anyone else in the school. So she and I work together, and I've introduced her to Book Creator, and she just absolutely loves it. So all of this is written in Russian. So they have the actual keyboard with the Russian letters, and it will type in Russian. And one of the requirements was that they had to record their voice. So,
Содержание.
so these are all their voices.
Железный дорожный музей Лонг-Айленде, страница 1.
So not only does she want her students to type, she wants her students to practice their conversation. And sometimes kids are embarrassed while they're learning. So to make it more inclusive, you can use the audio feature. You can also have students can use the video feature, but we find that some kids can be very shy about that. So we give them a choice. This student chose the audio feature. Now, this actually says Long Island. Long Island. It's very phonetic. It's Long Island. And that's where we live, Long Island, New York. So this project was to create a weekend of Long Island. Like, what are the things that you can do on Long Island? Now, notice all of this is on the edge. Again, we were talking about margin for error in universal design, but when you're looking on the actual book, it's not there. So you can actually do those things and it's not a mistake. So I want to show you this right here, this voice right here. All right. So if I go like this and I go to the I, this is where you have it's in Russian and you could have the transcript right here. So I could have the transcript. I actually pressed transcript and it transcribed it. I could actually edit it if I wanted to, but this one looks okay. Then we can actually translate it. So here's a translation. But what I love about Book Creator, not only does it translate the audio into words, it translates the audio into voice. So again, here is a translation, expert assessment, page 7. And here is the voice.
Expert assessment, page 7.
Like when I did that the first time, I was blown away. Kids love that. Now you can translate videos, but you can't create a new video because obviously it's your face, but it will use the AI and it will create another voice of that. So I tell teachers, even if you're not going to use Book Creator for students have a project, use Book Creator to teach students. So you can create books in Book Creator and then they can use these features to make it more accessible. Perfect for English language learners, perfect for our students with special needs. We actually had students with special needs creating their own books and they use the speech to text to have Book Creator write their words and then they transcribed it and then they checked that it was written correctly. So they use multiple modalities to go back and forth to make sure that they were speaking it correctly, that it was written correctly. And again, all these features are in Book Creator. So again, all of this is written in Russian. All you have to do is press this voice, go here. Oh, let me unlock that. Go here and it says add transcript. You can generate it automatically or you can enter it manually. I go here and then you have to type in the language that says Ruski, that's Russian. So I'll click that and I'm going to click generate automatically. And then depending on how long it is, it may take a few minutes. And here we go.
Железный дорожный музей Лонг-Айленде.
And that's her transcript. I'll press save and then I will click it again. And now you can see that it says, let me move this down a little bit, translate. And again, I'm going to go into translate for English. And then they have different voices, and then you can press translate. So not only are you translating the transcript, you're translating the voice.
Railway Museum.
That I think is one of the biggest features of Book Creator that I absolutely love for inclusivity. I've seen speech to text, I've seen text to speech, I've seen all these things, but I've never seen something that will transcribe something so seamlessly. Here's another one. Here is actually a template that I had created for a class with special needs. And then when you do, you can create templates. What you used to have to do, you'd have to remix the templates. Would you have to give like a template link? But now you can assign them. So create your template however you want it, and then you create your library and assign it to all the kids, and they get a forced copy of it. Just like Google, if you're forcing a copy or you're using Google Classroom, you're forcing a copy, and every kid gets a copy. And if you forget a page, you can create a page and actually force that out to all the students as well. So in this book, you could see that it was a class, it was a special needs class, and they were talking about laundry. They were doing their laundry. And when I created this, they made their own copy. And this is what I do. I make mine even more inclusive because I put my directions here. I put them on the outside. Think of it as your desk. So if you're looking at the book, notice the directions, and I always put stickers on them, whether they've finished it or not. I want to encourage them to do well. I press this, and you don't see all of that on the outside. So I don't need to clutter up the page with my directions. My directions are on the outside. And here you could see I use the dyslexia font on this page and that on the directions as well. And when the students got their copy, they had to put them in order like a worksheet. And there you go. They made their own copy. Then they went through, again, more instructions, always a little sticker on the side, and then they would talk about themselves, all about me. And now look at this. If your students are very young or they have problems reading, now
Instructions 1. Change the background.
so now even the instructions will read. Everything will read. Whenever I click on something, it has that little read button. So I can make everything accessible. If a child doesn't know what this says and they don't know how to answer it, everything is readable now. Keep on going. And again, they put in their pictures, they put in images. And that is, again, something for students with special needs. Now, here we go. Here are my little directions. Over here is a little video that I recorded. Hi, friends. Now that you've learned how to do your laundry, this Book Creator template will help you reflect on the different steps. What you need to do to prepare to do your laundry, how to do your laundry, and how to fold and put away your laundry. I hope you enjoy. Bye. So again, we have students with maybe we have visual problems, we have students with auditory problems. All you need to do is take your video. Hi, friends. Now that you've learned how to do your laundry, this book. Let me pause that. You click it, so you're choosing that video. I'll make this a little bigger. You're choosing the video. You press the I. The I is your magic, right? That's what you can use to edit anything. And here it says, before it said, I'm sorry, I already put in the captions, but it said captions I could auto generate or I can manually generate just like the transcription before. But here, again, I could do add translation and I could add it to Ukrainian and I could press translate and it will translate the captions. Let me do that again and translate. Great. So that is another way that you can make your projects more accessible for your students. Here is actually a book that our students created about a project that they did. All of these students were working on a project where they created we created a book on how to use our button machine. And all I do now is I take the QR code for this book and I attach it to the button machine. So now when anyone wants to borrow the button machine, they can go through the book and it has directions exactly on how to create their buttons. Excuse me. So I really love the fact that these kids are helping other kids to use the button machine. And here we have videos, we have audio bites, and we have other videos. Now you can create videos in other programs and then put them in. So this video was actually created in WeVideo and I uploaded it, or you can record directly in Book Creator. So here it is. So sometimes you want more control. So you can go into WeVideo or Screencastify or whatever program you're using, and you can create your videos and then you can upload them. And they will still do the closed captions, which I love that. I love using Book Creator for closed captions. Can you tell? Another one here, I think this is one of the last ones. So our guidance department wanted to create a book. They had a PDF. So now you could actually upload PDFs. So these are all PDFs, and I just uploaded them, right? I uploaded them to our page, and you can upload as a link, or you could upload the whole thing. So into different pages. So that's what I did. These are just basic pages from our PDF, and I upload them. To make it clickable, I put my own little hotspots on it. But I can go here, and I can go to the eye, and I could press scan for text. Scan for text, and it will scan for text. I'm going to say I'm going to do the current page only. All right, and now
Student brag sheet. Dear student,
it will read it. That I love. It's brand new. Brand new to many of you probably. But again, you can upload one page PDF or multiple page PDFs, and you can separate the PDFs of the different pages onto different pages, or you could just upload it onto the whole PDF onto one page. So that is really another way to make it accessible. So I'm going to show you, those are some examples, but I'm going to go through here, through this book. Book Creator has more than 230 accessibility improvements that have been added. And dictation, the speech to text, supports 120 languages. You have add captions to video, add a transcript to audio recordings, navigate using your keyboard, improve color contrast, and improve screen reader support. So some of you who might not have students with special needs in your classes, or you might not be an assistive technology professional, you might not know what some of these things do, but they're all embedded. So if you ever need them, they're there. In the chat, we do have a link to my demonstration book, the presentation version of this book. This one is clickable, so I can get in here and I can show things as I'm speaking to you. But you will have this right now, so you'll have all these links right here. Adding content, so easy. Again, press plus. Images, camera, pen, text, and you could record. Again, you have your speech to text, and you could read it afterwards. You could record your voice right in here. You could take a picture. You could take a video. You can't really edit a lot with the video, so I suggest if you want to create something, I guess that has more editing with transitions and things like that, then use another video program and then upload it to Book Creator. I do want to show you one thing that's very, very important. If I go in here to images and I just type in penguin, because that's my favorite animal, I've typed in penguin, right? And I could just click this. It shows me exactly where it came from. I press add. Now, to make your book more accessible, when you click the image, you go to the letter I, and it says here, alternative text. A lot of people don't know what that is, or they don't use it. Alternative text, I'm going to type in image of two penguins. All right. And then I'll press that, and Write that. When you go through the book, you will not see that. You'll never see that. But someone who can't see the penguins, who may be legally blind or visually impaired, their screen reader will read the alternate text. So be mindful when you're creating websites, when you're putting up images for students, even from kindergarten all the way to higher ed, that's what that alternative text means. That's what this is right here. Sometimes it's auto-generated and sometimes you have to add it yourself. But if you just teach your students when they create a book to put that in there. Again, no one's really going to know it unless you need a screen reader, but it's really good for our students to build empathy and to understand that there are other kids who need some supports. And also, what if your students want to go into a field like computers or medicine? They need to know that they really should think about the other people and their needs and what they can do to help them. You could put a web address here, and I love this new feature. I press remove background, and now I have my penguins on the page. I do not need to go. I used to have to go to remove.bg and then download and upload, or I would go into Canva and I would, import it again. Totally in there. I am so thrilled with that new feature. It's simple, but it's such a game changer. Here, when you add media, if I go plus into the second column, you can use templates. And the templates, I'm going to say, are pretty awesome. And I'm going to say that I do have some templates on here myself. I'm so excited. Yes, I have the habit tracker on here. Let me see if I can find, oh, I should just say habit tracker. Did it work for me? Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, now it's saying too much. Habit tracker. Yay, that's my habit tracker. So a few templates in there. You can change any of these templates. You can use them, you can modify them, but it's a great way to get started. If you want, you could add little audio, you can add little video, but that was that speech to text, which is no, search by speech. That's what that one was. And again, you can go here to media, you could add shapes, icons, files. That's where you could import your PDF, and you could also embed links. So YouTube videos look like YouTube videos. Other images look like other images. They're totally embedded right in there. So you can use Book Creator to teach units. You can create maybe study guides. You can create unit plans in Book Creator. And then the last one would be apps. So if you have any apps that are connected, again, I love Canva. You have 3D models, maps, the feedback stickers, Google Drive, animated emojis, Giphy, Bitmoji, and the AI image generator, brand new. Look at that right there. That's so much fun. All right. And then once you're in there, all you have to do is edit. Here is that little video about the closed captions. I made a little video. And you could even put in little comments. So as a teacher, I can go in here to comments, and I can really make this inclusive by saying add a comment. And not only can I say great job, let me type that in, great job, I can put a video, or I can use audio, or I could add emojis. I could add a file. I could use all these different ways of saying great job. So when I'm teaching my students, I could put in comments, but I could also give them a link to something else that they need to study from. So sometimes I put the comments on the side, but now that I've discovered this and all those ways I can connect with my students, I use the comments over there. So that's the comments. Transcripts, I showed you about transcribing before. Again, great way to make your book more inclusive and to teach your students to create projects that are inclusive for others. Commenting and feedback I just showed you. So much fun. Again, look at that. I could add a GIF. I could add audio. I could add video. So any way I want to respond to a student or any way the student needs to hear from me. It's even good if you're leaving sub lessons, sub plans. You can actually speak and your students will know that you're really thinking of them that day, even though you're out. There's your translation feature. You can control the translation feature, turn it on and off if you want your students to use it or not. But you can translate your comments, you can translate one page, you can translate the entire book. There's so many things you could do. And again, like I showed you before, you could even translate your PDF. I'm going to do the current page only, and then it will read it, and then I could translate it. Again, this is just a PDF page that I imported, and you can import a PDF. You don't have to just create a book first. You could just import the PDF. And there's in your little link, you're going to have um, my little book here on how to get started with Book Creator and all of these great books that I just discovered yesterday because I'm teaching kindergarten to the fifth grade starting in the fall. So I now can teach my kids Book Creator with each of these little books. So thank you. I'm so excited to use that. I hope you use Book Creator. It is so amazing. And again, it is, I would say, the number one tool out there for accessibility and creating an inclusive classroom for everyone.
Thank you so much, Christina. That was wonderful. You had me smiling so much at some of your examples. If anyone has any questions at all, I think there might be a couple hanging around. If you put them in the chat, then Christina can answer them. And I did reshare the book as well just a couple seconds ago. So if you scroll up, you can get to Christina's book too. But other than that, a huge, huge thank you. And we'll have a lovely rest of your days, I suppose.
Have a great day, guys. And if you're at ISTE, enjoy. And if you're not at ISTE like me, I am so thankful that you gave me your time today to talk about something really, really important, which is accessibility and inclusivity. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you all for coming.